Hello and welcome to FX Addicts Weekly Market Analysis. This is Tim, the Currency Professor, and today is Friday, February 15th, 2013. Well, ending up the week on kind of a mixed note. The euro today kind of mixed up, up a little, down a little, looking like it's probably going to stabilize here for a little while at least, maybe fall off again, get down around the 132, 132.50 area, but looks like it's fairly well stabilizing here. What we're really looking for is for a consolidation, something along this order, and somewhere on this side of the movement here, the upward movement, downward movement. So if we can consolidate in this area for about a week, 2 weeks, and that would be positive. Eventually we'll hit this trend line as it spreads out, and then once we do that with that consolidation, we'll go up and make new highs here. Now on the weeklies we can probably see this a little bit better. Probably have about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks to go here of consolidation till we hit this trend line. And it really doesn't look like it's going to fall off very much, although it could. We get down into that 132.50 level, bring us down into here, at which point then we would be at that trend line and we could start to turn around then. Now eventually it really looks like we're probably going to run up, and we could run up to this 144 area, which is the upper limit of the channel line, this huge channel line that we've been in for several years now. Although that being said, there's a lot of fundamental issues. The GDP report this week for all of Europe came in significantly lower than anyone expected. In addition to that, it's now the third quarter of negative GDP. So clearly in a solid recession Europe is, and it's going to take a lot for that to turn around. So that being said, fundamentally, to support the euro at these levels is really not warranted, especially if we look further down the road and the possibility that the U.S. could turn around economically and have a fairly decent growth rate this year. So there's a lot of fundamental issues that cannot support the upward momentum of the euro against the dollar, or the euro against anything for that matter. So it's very, very possible that we could bounce around here for a while, form a top, and then sell off. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. We're probably going to go higher the way it looks on the shorter term, and there is just so much pent-up type of enthusiasm about Europe and the possibility that they're going to come out of this whole thing smelling great. Now that's right now still a matter of opinion whether that indeed happens or not, and fundamentally that could happen. I'm not going to rest my case on the whole thing being just fundamentals, but technically there's no reason for us to stop at this particular level on these longer term charts. So that's my reasoning for thinking that we're probably going to go higher. Now British pound up a little bit today, bouncing about 32 pips. We are below that 155.50 level, and we'll look at that here in a minute on the weeklies, but on the dailies we have now a pretty decent channel here that we can call as a descending channel, and we could bounce up, but our bounce would probably take us up to about 156 at the most. So we are really in a downward, very steepward downward momentum here. Does not look like it's going to end anytime soon. I would be more encouraged to think that we're probably going to get it down to the 153.50 level before we got to that 156. Now on the weeklies, here we are. We're going to close significantly below that that trend line that we've been looking at now for essentially the last few years. So that trend line is now up around 156. We're closing around 155.20. That is a significant difference there. So we're going to call it, saying that this is now the start of a new, very strong, very quick downward momentum move coming here, very much like we saw back here. So we close now the month out below this this level, and we close it significantly below, which we would need to see about 154.50, 154 on a monthly basis. So if we close out February at those levels, that's going to be fairly significant, and that will then take us down fairly quickly down to the 142 level, and probably down to around the 130, and ultimately to the 125 level. So, and we could do that fairly quickly within 4 to 6 months. So when this thing moves, it moves. It's a very good market to trade in that respect. U.S. dollar against the Swiss franc, up a little bit today, up a little bit yesterday. We're up about 10 pips today. 92.23 area, 92.20. Looking fairly positive. It's grinding its way higher. It would be great if we saw some huge up moves like we saw back here. Unfortunately, those failed as well. But we need to get up above this this minor trend line up here, which is around 93 even. So we would need to close above that on a daily basis. And on a weekly basis, that trend line is just about at the same level. So really would like to see it get up and close up well above that, significantly above that, and then rally up a little more. Now, on a monthly basis, we were really looking for last month to be the turnaround month. It didn't happen. So here we are sitting in February looking for that to happen. Still doesn't look like it, but we are stabilizing, and this downward move that we had really was not significant in the whole scope of this spike low. So we're bottoming, and we're finding some lows here. It's just a matter until we get that really big oomph that takes us up and closes us up well above that 100 level, in which case we would then see some follow through. U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen, up a little bit today, up about 50 pips. We are consolidating here in an area, and we're probably getting pretty close to a time when that consolidation will come to an end, and we'll go up and make some new highs. Now, on the weeklies, we're going to end up the week on a positive note, albeit off of our highs, which is not necessarily great, but it's not bad either. So overall, we still got this this momentum going here. The momentum's starting to fade. We would need to close above 95 really to keep that momentum going on a weekly basis. That's not going to happen this week. We'll have to look at further out here in the month to see if that does indeed happen. Same on the monthlies. We would need to close up above these highs from back here and really close significantly above those. So really 96.50, 97 even before we could say, all right, on a monthly basis, this thing is going to scream even higher. Euro Swiss up just slightly today, up about 6 pips. Hanging out, we're consolidating. This is actually a pretty good consolidation that we got going here. So really looks like we'll probably form a base pattern here and then start to move up and go up and make new highs. Now on the weeklies, because of the spike low, everything gets really small, but you can see this is kind of a flagging type of movement here. So what should happen is as we consolidate here, maybe one more week, we can go then up after that and start to make new highs. So overall, still looks very positive. Euro yen up a little bit today, up about 67 right now. We were up about 100 earlier, since falling back. We were also down about 100 at one point in the session. So overall, we're consolidating nicely with a downward bias here. At some point here, we are going to turn around and break out. We're getting very close to that. We consolidated a little bit further than we did this last time, so this next move should take us up. Now on the weeklies, we are consolidating very nicely here as well, and we're consolidating at some very high levels. So looks still very positive. The longer we consolidate here, more than likely that we will rush up and make new highs. Now if we consolidate here for too long, then that can mean that we'll turn around and go back down. So there's a little bit of a fine line that we're looking at here as to what is too long and what is just enough. So if we were to consolidate in this area more than the next 2 weeks, I would be concerned that we would then fall down. So on a monthlies, well, right now in the monthlies it still looks positive. Depends on how we close out the month. Of course, that's about a little bit less than 2 weeks now out, but overall still looks very positive longer term. So still liking the market. It's just extremely volatile, so anyone wanting to play this you really need to think about your risk-reward ratios in there and whether you can handle that risk, because just like today we have a range of about 200 pips or so, and the other day we had one about 350 pips, so that is not going to be too unusual in this market. So if you can't handle that 350, 400 pip day kind of range, then this is definitely not the market for you. If you can, then there's certainly some pretty good money to be made, but your stops need to be a long ways away. That is it for today. We do have the new book coming out, Forex Secrets, so just want to remind everybody of that. We will have it posted on the website here shortly, and it's actually going through its final formatting process, so the electronic copies will be available, and ultimately the hardcover will be available the middle of April-ish. So any questions, certainly grab me. I am around every day by Skype, email, or chat on the website. So thank you very much.